What is going on, everybody? Down South 77 here again, and this is 3-Star Draw, an adult collector channel where we talk about G.I. Joe, usually G.I. Joe Classified, and every now and then we'll take a look at some other stuff, other toys, other stuff I like to collect, put on my this and that shelf, which is soon going to have to become a this and that shelves because I am running out of room in here. But I am not in here to do a review today. Nope, today I'm not here to talk about my awesome talents. I'll be back to talk about them just as soon as I find some. I am here to talk about a very good friend of mine. I got something in the mail last week. I've actually had it here for about a week, and I have not had a chance to do a video on it, but it warrants its own video, and I've got to show you guys the work that my friend put into this thing for me, and I wanted to make sure everybody could see it and everybody could know where to find him if you are interested in having anything custom painted. So if you've been following the channel, you've heard me mention a lot about my buddy out on the West Coast. This is the buddy I'm talking about. We met last year sometime in G.I. Joe Facebook group, and he actually helped me acquire a lot of the figures that I needed for my collection as I was getting into classified and a lot of the earlier figures. He frequently, buys extras and does a lot of trading, and we did a lot of trading and a lot of buying stuff off of each other, and got to be friends and get to knowing him. Come to find out, he was a awesome painter, does a lot of custom painting projects, a lot of commission, and he specializes in tabletop gaming. So he's always getting commissions and painting stuff for people, and he also likes to, of course, work on his own stuff, but he likes to repaint vehicles, things that, customizers do. So we got to talking, and this was last year when all of the Fortnite stuff was hitting at Ollie's really big, and of course everybody was buying that stuff up. And I mentioned to him that I had been going in Ollie's and was seeing all this stuff, and I'd seen the gliders. They had them at the Ollie's I went to all the time for $3.99. They also had the boats. I'm seeing the Fortnite boats. I've got one over here behind me. The boat's awesome. That thing was originally like $80, and it was at Ollie's for $15. I don't know how people that customize stuff could turn it down. Well, they don't have Ollie's where he lives, so he'd asked me to pick a couple of them up. I'd picked up a glider, and I actually picked up the llama-corn glider just because I actually thought it was funny. I don't know. I liked the colors in it. I thought it was neat. But when I picked up some gliders for him to custom paint, he said, well, if you want to send me yours, I'll paint yours up for you. I was like, okay. I'm like, I can't turn that down. So we decided that we were going to turn it into a claw. And I wanted to show it off. I finally got it back from him. Now, he's had it for a while. He doesn't take this long when he does commissions. This was a favor to me just as being a friend. So he worked on it, a little at a time, just as he could, free time. There wasn't any rush on it or anything like that. Again, he was doing it as a favor as a friend. And I really need to let you guys see this thing up close because it's phenomenal, the detail that's gone into it. So you can find him on Instagram as Berserkersbrush, and he has a lot of his pictures on there of custom stuff he's done for tabletop gaming. He's got some custom heads, so he can paint like if you've got 3D printed stuff. If you've got a 3D printer but you're not really great at painting it, he can paint that stuff up. Just does some phenomenal work. So I'll show a couple pictures here of what this glider looked like when I sent it to him, when I got it. I don't have any pictures of it, of like my actual one. I didn't take any pictures of it like the one, but here's what the the llama corn glider looked like. So I'll show a couple pictures here. Things just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know who was buying Fortnite figures. It seems to me like most of the people that play Fortnite probably aren't playing with action figures. I don't know. I'm not in that sphere. I've played Fortnite 3 times, and that's about it. Although, side note, I did come in 12th one of those times, but I mostly ran around and hid and shot people in the back. But it's what years of playing Call of Duty does. All right, I'm going to move over to the other camera now, and we will take a look and see what Berserkersbrush has done to this thing.
We shall see how G.I. Joe likes the bite of a sneak's fangs. Cobra!
Alright, so we got this thing laid out. The one thing that I don't have out is the stand, and I'm going to show that in a couple minutes. I did not send the stand to him. I just sent the glider. The stand actually has Fortnite across the bottom of it, and I probably should have sent it to him because he could have painted that too, but neither one of us really thought about it. So I'm actually going to paint part of the stand, but I'll show that in a minute. That's not what we're here to see. So you saw what the llama corn top looked like with the llama corn on it and all of the bright colors. So this is the canopy that he's painted up for it. Throughout this, he'd asked me several different times how I wanted it, what I wanted it to look like, and I basically told him to surprise me, but there were a few crossroads that he needed my input for. So I did say that I wanted it type of Cobra blue, because I would probably be using it for a Cobra Trooper, probably a Valkyrie, and these guys are back here doing the boogaloo because they're happy to have it back. Valkyrie looks great on this thing, but man, so does the Stinger driver. On it with it. He's a little big. It's a little small for a full-size male character, but it does work. But something like it's better as a background piece. But a character like the Valkyrie, the small figures, it's absolutely awesome. So go ahead and check this out. So he did this in this dark navy. Does have some stripes painted on it. I said blue and red, just do it in Cobra colors. So really brought out the detail of this because this is a glider, this is fabric. So the one thing he might be mad at me over though is these little pieces right here attached to the glider because it's catching air, it's helping it sail down. And they are just about impossible to get back into the glider. They were before when it come out of the package when I had it displayed. So I don't know if I'm actually going to put this back on. I may set it down as a background piece around some of the figures, but I wanted to show off the awesome paint and some of the weathering that he's done to it. And I really want to call attention to the rope. So he painted all of this in metal. Now this is right here. This was my doing. This is the original color up underneath it, and this is from me wiggling these around, trying to get these clips back in the glider. And I'll show you what I mean. They're really hard to get back in, and honestly, I don't know if they're worth it to actually try to mess the paint up. But so he did all 4 of these ropes. This actually does look like rope. Brought out a lot of the detail in this where it looks like this is old, weathered metal. I think this come out absolutely fantastic. And I hate that I kind of rubbed some of the paint on it there. You can see it close up. It's not noticeable from a distance, but everything does have a varnish on it, and it's going to take some significant movement to rub anything, but I was doing significant movement to it. So here's the underside of it. So the whole thing just come out awesome. Really matches the blue. See if I can get her where she might not fall back. I think the Valkyrie is the figure that he kind of matched it to because that was the one we kind of had in mind. Maybe she'll stand. If she goes backwards, she's taking those bricks out. It's bound to happen in one of my reviews. So I'm going to set that over here. by Driver Viper, let's take a look at the glider. So this is how this thing come out, and you saw it in the pictures and see what how it originally came out. So one of the crossroads we were at with him needing input from me, aside from just saying, hey, surprise me, was, do you want it to look new, or do you want it to look like it's weathered? Oh, there he goes, Driver Viper. Done danced till he can't dance anymore. So I said, you know what? Let's make it look weathered. Make it look like it's seen some action, seen some battles. Maybe Cobra Commanders used this thing to escape a few times. So he went through and he put this, spots where the paint is rusted and splotched off. Get the weathering there on the edges where this thing is just. Do these claws actually last like this? And like these things go down like, like blades of grass under a John Deere in the cartoon. So I really think this come out absolutely just dope. The way he did the weathering on the tips of the wings. Maybe they're kind of trying to skirt through some trees or something and nick the wings. Same here. You got the same on the front, on each side here. So it looks like the paint is worn and chipped off. Same thing on the fins, on the vents here. And it's all done in gray, like a gray and a different shade of the blue. But I said, let's make the thing look weathered, and he really delivered. I couldn't even begin to tell you how to get paint to look like that. I've watched some friends that paint, watched some videos and stuff, and I'm lost to it. It does have some water slide decals on there, some Cobra decals that he varnished on, and we got 788, and he said we called it B because it doesn't have the actual vertical fins on it. So maybe this is like a different, a different version Destro come up with, or something like that when they were trying to create a new one. So we got our Cobra decals on the bottom. Same thing on the bottom. Got that weather in there where it's stuff hitting it while it's in motion. So he took this thing apart, went through, put it all back together, and obviously it's not the same on each side. Different wind resistance and particles in the air. I am really, really pleased with how this thing come out. Really want to send a big shout out to Berserkersbrush for doing this thing for me. I'm very, very happy, and I'm not at all upset that it took a while, because he was doing this just as a friend. So do want to show that. Now let me grab the stand. Also, this part right here. So the ball for the stand, that rub in there, I did that because I've already had it on the stand to do a few pictures. That is unavoidable if you're going to put it back on the stand on the inside of the cup there. You will not be able to avoid that no matter what you do to this thing. And the reason why is on the stand, if you can see, it does have grooves, or not grooves, it has like pegs, like to grip, because it does hold on there pretty tight once you pop it on there. And I've already had it on here, so it's not something you're going to want to take off and on the stand a whole lot. Because, if you do, just be aware that you're going to rub off whatever color you do the inside of that little cup. So this is basically what the stand looks like. It's flat and then comes out and supports the weight there. And if you get it on there, it actually does hold it pretty good. You obviously don't want to bump it or anything because it will be top heavy. Now on the bottom of the stand here, this is where it did have Fortnite, and it was embossed. It was raised a little bit. So this is my doing here. So I actually took a hobby Dremel, a craft Dremel, and a wire wheel brush, and took that off. And it did put some light scratches on it, but I've gone over it with some really, really, really fine sandpaper, and I'll probably go over it again, rinsed it off, and I think I can get it back down to a smooth enough texture that some paint and primer, or paint and plus primer, will cover it. And I'm just going to do this in probably the same blue that my shelves are in. If I can find a blue in the Krylon that I like that kind of matches this, I might grab a can of it, but I kind of think I like the contrast. I'm not going to paint this when I put it on the shelf. I haven't done all that yet. I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. I just kind of wanted to show what the stand looked like. And I'm going to put some pictures in. No, don't fall, man. We're still having a good time. It's still a party. So I'm going to throw some pictures in just some quick ones that I took after work. I went outside, kind of posed it around a little bit. And it was actually kind of hard to do because it is so hot outside today that the Valkyrie's hands were not wanting to grip the handlebars. Oh, and he also weathered the handlebars too. So that's so a little handlebar there where it's been gripped so many times. So yeah, I'm going to throw his Instagram up here, guys. Go check out Berserkersbrush if you need anything custom painted, especially if it's tabletop games or like resin heads or anything, and go check him out. I appreciate you guys checking the video out, and I will see y'all next time on 3-Star Draw.